On November the 20th, 1963, Malcolm X delivered one of his final speeches as a minister of the Nation of Islam at this building, the Columbia School of Journalism on Columbia University campus. 2 days after Malcolm spoke here, John F. Kennedy was assassinated. The Nation of Islam sent out orders that no minister should address the topic of the assassination. Malcolm X gave an address on the 1st of December, delivering what history records as his chickens coming home to roost address, which became the pretext by which Elijah Muhammad, the head of the Nation of Islam, silenced Malcolm for 90 days and then ousted him from the organization. Many people have tried to interpret what led up to the split between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. Malcolm, over time, evolved. He began to feel that it was important to separate religion from politics, that most black people would not join the Nation of Islam. They didn't believe that whites, for example, were devils, that you had to have strict racial separation. So increasingly, in the late 50s and early 60s, Malcolm began to speak out on those types of issues. So much so that people in the Nation of Islam began to severely criticize him. About a week and a half after the murder of John F. Kennedy, Malcolm gave an address in Midtown Manhattan, God's judgment of white America. And at the end of the speech, he was asked, well, what do you think about the assassination of President Kennedy? And Malcolm's response was, America lives by violence. It's not surprising that its chief executive was struck down by violence. And then Malcolm added, being a farm boy, after all, growing up in the Midwest, this was a case very much of the chickens coming home to roost. That is, if America lives by violence, it's not surprising it has reaped what it sowed. Elijah Muhammad cynically seized upon this statement, silencing him for 90 days and stripping him of his position as the leader of Mosque No. 7 of Harlem. Malcolm assumed that he would return to his position 90 days later. When Malcolm returned from Chicago after meeting with Elijah Muhammad, however, he learned that it was far more severe than he had initially thought. Rumors were circulating that Elijah Muhammad's life had been threatened, that Malcolm was responsible, and that Malcolm should either be beaten up or expelled from the nation physically, and possibly even killed. The objective of many of the leaders of the Nation of Islam, including Elijah Muhammad, was at first to discipline Malcolm, to strip him of his power, and then to strip him of his life.